Hello, sports fans. Welcome to Super Sports Central. Today we have Sports News episode 38. We'll be covering the four major sports. So, to start, we have the play-in tournament started today. So, Karis Levert missed today's game for the Pacers because of the NBA's health and safety protocols, which is essentially just their COVID policy and their protocols every player has to follow. However, it proved to be the Pacers didn't need Levert to beat the Hornets, as they eliminate the Hornets and they move on to play the loser of the Celtics-Wizards game, which is currently just about at halftime right now. Veteran guard Kyle Lowry is thinking about playing for Team USA in the Olympics in Tokyo. So now the best and worst teams we've been covering all season, and the best and worst teams to end the regular season. The best are the Jazz, 52 and 20, Suns 51 and 21, and 76ers 49 and 23. The worst teams, the Magic 21 and 51, Pistons 20 and 52, and Rockets 17 and 55. So now, on to the NHL. So the NHL playoffs have started. It started very recently. So we're just going to go through every series right now with my predicted winner. So, in the East, one seed in the Eastern Division. It's split up by divisions. So there's an interesting format this year that I'm going to explain. So, the new playoff format is because of the Canadian border restrictions. So right now, the law about the Canadian border with COVID is, upon arriving in the country, you must do a 10-day quarantine, which would mess up the NHL's playoff schedule. So they're looking for an answer from the Canadian government by June 1st about the answers to this question, about will the players still have to quarantine. But this year's format, so the first two rounds are within division, so that doesn't create a problem at the border, meaning the players wouldn't have to quarantine. So the first seed plays the 4 seed, the 2 seed plays the 3 seed, and the winner of those two series play each other. And the winner of the third series, where there's only the 2 teams left, they become the official division champion. After that, the teams are reseeded based off point totals. And points, you get 2 points for a win, 1 point for an overtime loss. And then it's normal semifinals and finals. So, in the Eastern Division, we have the Penguins as the 1 seed and the Islanders as the 4 seed. The Islanders jumped out to an early series lead with a 4-3 overtime victory. Game 2 is today. And for the series, I think it's going to be the Penguins in 6 games. Now, the second series in the Eastern Division, Capitals 2 seed versus Bruins 3 seed. I think the division's going to go... The series will go 7 games. Right now it's knotted at 1. Both games have gone to overtime. In Game 1, the Capitals beat the Bruins 3-2. And in Game 2, the Bruins beat the Capitals 4-3. I think it's going to go Bruins in 7 games. So now, the winner of those 2 games of those 2 series would face off. So, Capitals versus Bruins, according to my predictions. I think it's going to be not the Capitals. The Penguins versus the Bruins. I think it's going to be the Penguins as the official Eastern Division champion. Now, we're going to move over to the Central Division. The Hurricanes are the 1 seed, and they're playing the Predators at the 4 seed. Game 1 results, the Hurricanes beat the Predators 5-2. And I think this is going to end up Hurricanes in 6 games. Now, the Central Division, the second series, Florida Panthers versus Tampa Bay Lightning. It's the battle for Florida. The Lightning are up 1-0 with a 5-4 win in Game 1. Game 2 is tonight. I think Lightning in 5 games. Now, the North Division has not started yet. Oh, wait, real quick, let me go back. That would leave Hurricanes Lightning for the second round of the Central Division series. I think it's going to be the Lightning. So, it's then Hurricanes versus Lightning, and I think Lightning. So, then in the North Division, those playoffs have not started yet, but it's number 1 seed Maple Leafs versus number 4 seed Canadiens. It starts on Thursday. I think it's going to be the Maple Leafs in 5 games. Now, the second series in the North, which is all Canadian teams, to avoid the quarantine issue. It's number 2 Oilers versus number 3 Jets. This series starts on Wednesday, and I think this series is going to go 5 games, and it's going to be the Oilers. Then in the West, these have started. Number 1 seed Avalanche versus number 4 seed Blues. In Game 1, Avalanche beat the Blues 4-1. I think it's going to go Avalanche in 5 games. Another series I picked to go 5 games. And the Avalanche are the President's Trophy winners, meaning the best regular season team. Vegas Golden Knights, second West Series, Vegas Golden Knights number 2 versus 3-seeded Minnesota Wild. The Wild won Game 1 in a 1-0 overtime victory. It's pretty unusual to see a game tied 0-0 in overtime. However, it did happen. So I think it's going to be Vegas in 6 games. So now in the semifinals, it is the East Division champion versus the West Division champion. So I have Penguins versus Avalanche Vegas Golden Knights. And I forgot to say my picks. So Avalanche Vegas Golden Knights, I think it's going to be the Golden Knights. And Maple Leafs Oilers, I think it's going to be the Oilers. So now, the Penguins, according to my predictions, the Penguins and Vegas Golden Knights will play each other. And I think it's going to be the Golden Knights advancing to the Stanley Cup. And then Oilers versus Lightning. I'd like to go with the Oilers here. Because they've just been pretty good this season. So I'm going to go Oilers versus Golden Knights in the Stanley Cup, with Vegas winning their first cup. So, please tell me your NHL playoff predictions in the comments. And more NHL news. The Rangers fired coach David Quinn last week, and his entire staff with the exception of the goalies coach. The best teams and worst teams to end the regular season. The best Avalanche, not 13. They have 13 losses. 39-13-4. Golden Knights 40-14-2. And Hurricanes 36-12-8. Worst teams, Devils 19-30-7. Ducks 17-30-9. And Sabres 15-34-7. Let's jump over to the NFL. Colts linebacker Darius Leonard hopes for an extension. Washington football team looks to trade offensive tackle Morgan Moses. And Joe Burrow is on track to start week 1. So that's the NFL news. Now let's jump over to the MLB, where we have the most news. Albert Pujols signs a 1-year deal with the Dodgers. So now we're going to go into a lot of injuries right now. So, and a lot of Mets have been injured. Kevin Pillar got hit in the face, and he has multiple nasal fractures. So as he was hitting, he got hit in the face. It was very scary. He was bleeding, and he left the game. Also with the Mets, Taijuan Walker left Monday's start after 3 innings with left side tightness. Mets outfielder Michael Conforto and second baseman Jeff McNeil are both on the injured list with hamstring strains. For Michael Conforto, it's his right hamstring. Jeff McNeil, it's his left hamstring. Corey Seager has a broken hand after being hit by a pitch in his hand. Hopefully Seager can get back soon because he's a extremely talented shortstop. And he is, while the Dodgers do have lots of other good players, he is one of their best players. Not their best, one of the best. However, his hand won't require surgery, so that's a good thing. The Royals placed Danny Duffy on the injured list with a left forearm flexor strain. Now, there's more injuries in a few minutes. Actually, a few things, but not really minutes. Garrett Cole sets record for most strikeouts in between walks. There was a record set by Corbin Burns last week, and Cole broke that record yesterday. Cole's record was 61 strikeouts in between walks. Shohei Ohtani hit his league-leading 13th home run last night. So now we're going to go back to injuries for a few minutes. The Brewers one positive thing. Brewers activate outfielder Christian Yelich. Hopefully he can stay off the injured list longer this time. Last time he was off the injured list, it was for 1 game, and then he was back on. He was dealing with back stiffness. The Yankees placed designated hitter Giancarlo Stanton on the injured list with a quad strain. Diamondbacks' Madison Bumgarner leaves his start after the 5th inning versus the Dodgers because of an adductor spasm. Jose Abreu will miss the entire White Sox series versus the Twins after an injury-filled weekend series. So, against the Royals, he had a scary collision with Hunter Dozier. Dozier is actually on the 7-day concussion IL because of that collision. And he's really out of the series due to left ankle inflammation that he got after he slid into home plate. So now, Yermin Mercedes broke an unwritten rule last night when the White Sox were playing the Twins. So the White Sox were up 15-4. It was the top of the 9th, and the Twins put a positioned player on the mound to save the bullpen. Since they were losing by 11 runs, Yermin Mercedes gets a 3-0 count, and on a 47-mile-an-hour pitch, he swings and hits a home run. So now everybody's going after him. Oh, why'd you swing 3-0 in a blowout? It's just like Tatis did last year when he hit the grand slam. So now, here's my thing. Unwritten rules are really dumb. Now, I think they're dumb because they're unwritten, meaning you only have to follow rules that are in the rule book. So, if it's not in the rule book, why do you have to follow it? And why do people come attack you for not following an unwritten rule? It makes no sense, and baseball fans want to see home runs. They're exciting. So now, and especially on a 47-mile-an-hour pitch, that's exciting. So, these unwritten rules are really, really dumb, so I really don't understand them. Just, you play until the game is over. It just really doesn't make any sense that you have to follow unwritten rules when they're not written in the rule book, meaning they're not official rules of the game. Okay, done with that. I'd like to know your thoughts on that. So, if you're going to comment about one or the other, NHL playoffs, or you can comment about both, but I'd prefer to hear your thoughts on Yermin Mercedes and the Unwritten Rule. So the best teams in the MLB are the White Sox, 25-15, the Athletics, 25-17, and the Red Sox, 25-17. The worst, the Diamondbacks, 18-24, Pirates, 17-23, and Rockies, 15-27. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. I would like to know your thoughts. I'd like to know your Stanley Cup champion in the NHL playoffs. And I would also like to know your thoughts on the Unwritten Rule. So, thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe so you don't miss any of the latest news or anything, any predictions or anything like that. Comment your NHL Stanley Cup champion and your thoughts on the Unwritten Rule being broken. So, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you for any breaking news. Otherwise, hopefully before next Tuesday for sports news, but otherwise, if nothing to do a video about, next Tuesday for sports news.